Nick from Echo Base Network. Thank you so much for being here with us tonight at Echo Base TV, where community happens. Thank you so much for being here with us tonight at Echo Base TV, where community happens.
Welcome back, EBN folks, to another EBN cast, episode number 2. Today, let me go ahead and introduce our panel. Mr. Producer Man himself, Mr. Mexican Ironman. What's going on, brother? How you doing?
Standing by, ready to serve, sir.
Appreciate you being here, brother. We also got my brother Stone Loki. How you doing?
Doing good. Let's rock.
And then we have the one and only Mr. Jonus J. Campbell himself. How you doing, Jonus?
Hello there.
And on top of that, guys, special guest, Mr. H Reviews, Nate himself. What's going on, Nate?
It's good. It's not just me. We've got Jasper as well. He's decided to make him
there. There he is.
Oh.
Yeah. He's over there just chilling on the couch. I saw you chilling on the couch during the pre-show over there. I guess it's probably a little bit better on your back.
Yeah, much better on my back. How's it going, everyone?
All right, guys. So let me just let everybody know a little bit about 4 different ways you can support us here at EBN. One, you can join the channel memberships. You get 1 free super chat a month, and then you get access to our Discord server for watch parties, all that sort of stuff. Masters, grandmasters are included in our pop-in sessions that we have during our live streams. You also get grandmasters also get one of our coins and grandmasters t-shirt. And Jedi Masters get a coin, but not the shirt. That's Grandmasters only. You can also join us over on Patreon, where we put a lot of stuff up over there where YouTube will not allow us to put the same kind of content over here. Also, we just got a new merch store that we opened up. You can see that in the link on our channel here. And then, of course, Super Chats, which kind of help guide the conversation. If there's a topic you want to hear our opinion on or whatever, You can always support us by super chats, and we'll go ahead and answer those. A little bit about the EBN cast that's a little bit different than some of the other shows you guys probably watch is all the hosts here, minus the special guests, each come with one article or one topic they want to hit on. So I'm going to go ahead and kick us off with the very first one. Nate, you just sit back, enjoy the show, and just
chill.
Commentary.
Just relax. You let
All
us
right.
try.
This one right here. Adam Driver jokes that this is mine for the week. Adam Driver jokes he didn't kill Han Solo in SNL monologue. Wokeness killed Han Solo. I don't know if any of you guys have seen this. I actually just saw this today. Tim Pool actually did a video on this, talking about Star Wars and how Disney's destroyed Star Wars and all that sort of stuff. I'm not going to play the whole video for the monologue on SNL. You guys can go on YouTube and check it out. But ultimately, the article reads, Adam Driver's done with your Star Wars complaints. As the host of December 9th episode of Saturday Night Live, he performed his monologue while playing the piano and reciting a letter of Christmas wishes to Santa. I would like people to stop coming up to me on the street saying, "You killed Han Solo," he said. "I didn't kill him. Wokeness killed him." Which, when you watch it in context, he was making fun of the whole people talking about wokeness thing. He wasn't being serious like wokeness actually killed him. He's kind of making fun of people that claim wokeness, and stuff all the time. The joke is in reference to his role as villain Kylo Ren in the Star Wars film The Force Awakens, Last Jedi and the Rise of Skywalker. Kylo kills Han Solo in The Force Awakens, a widely controversial storyline among the Star Wars fandom. I'm not going to read the rest of the article. It goes into a bunch of other stuff that he was saying on it that's not really important to what I wanted to hit on. But this making fun of the whole wokeness thing, basically saying that wokeness killed Han Solo. No, I think Harrison Ford killed Han Solo. My opinion. He wanted the character to die. He's been wanting him to die forever. I think he probably didn't come back to the series unless they promised to kill off his character. He probably only wanted to do one movie. That's the only way he'd come back. Now, of course, that is not official news. That's just my opinion. But Mike, what do you think about this?
Well, he can joke all he wants about wokeness killing or not killing Han Solo, but it's killing things across the board, left, right, and center in entertainment.
Yep.
There was another interview that he did on the Richard Eisen show, which I found really fascinating. Did you catch that one?
I did not. What was he talking about on that one?
So on the Rich Eisen show, they talked a little bit more in detail about the character because he asked him about that on the show. And
yeah, that's where he talked about how the character was rewritten.
Yeah, he said it was supposed to go from contemplating evil to like being super evil, like the reverse of Darth Vader.
Yes. I did hear about that.
Yeah,
but they had...
that was on the Rich Eisen show, and I thought that was interesting. It just further goes to show that these the people in charge of the sequel trilogy are just absolutely morons who had no idea of how to put together a story and stick with it.
Yeah, they didn't have no plan. It was just like pass the baton, like a relay race. Loki, thoughts?
I've told this story before. There is misinformation and some disingenuous people that have spread this lie that Harrison Ford hated Han Solo and always wanted him to die. That is not true. Mm-hmm. When Harrison Ford went to George Lucas, he said, "I feel like my character in this last movie is pointless. He doesn't do anything. There's no reason for him to be there. Wouldn't it be good if he died bringing down the shield grid that was protecting the Death Star? That way the heroes can go in, the heroes can save the day, they can destroy the Death Star, and Han's story has meaning in this movie." And everyone has consistently grabbed onto that and said, "Oh, he wanted him to die. He never liked the character." And yada. That is BS. He wanted his character to have meaning. He wanted the death to have meaning. His death has no meaning in the sequel trilogy. None whatsoever. This was not what he originally wanted. It's not what was intended. And I wish people would stop spreading this rumor that, oh, he hated it. He hated it. No, we got in an argument with George in the last movie because he felt like his character didn't do anything in the movie.
Huh, I had not heard that before.
He's talked about it in a couple of different interviews.
Huh,
His
interesting.
argument with George about, I felt like the character had no meaning. I felt like I was just there to be there to bring the character back.
Interesting. Jonas, thoughts?
Man, I tell you what, no matter how all of these, all this wokeness and everything, first of all, wokeness definitely did kill Han Solo, whether or not he was an intended wound or if it was collateral damage. He had to get out of the way so that they could shine on the new stars, those being Daisy Ridley, John Boyega, and Adam Driver. And then Adam Driver became sniveling Beta. I don't want to call him a soy boy, but you know, they took what could. If they were trying to make him into Darth Vader, instead they made him Luke Skywalker being whiny if he was trying to be Darth Vader. I love Luke, but that they took the worst aspects of Luke and tried to make that into Darth Vader. There was the dude ripped apart a console with a lightsaber in that first film. That was actually that was an intimidating move.
Yes.
And then by the end of it, he's I guess we're just going to pretend he's Han Solo. They give him a couple of Han Solo mannerisms. They take the meme of Harrison Ford doing the shrug, and they just expect everyone to accept that he's now Han Solo. The thing that I want to compare this to is Harrison Ford himself. No matter all of that stuff, he just stayed cool the entire time. He's not going to go out there and talk about his performance, even though he's a serious actor. I think he knows he's a hero to a bunch of people just for the fact that he's played Indiana Jones and Han Solo. And so he's not going to go into this stuff about, oh, I was tired, I didn't want to do this, oh, I need more money, all that stuff. It just really ruins the image of these characters. And it shows that we've gone from a place where they're creating art that can be commercialized to creating commercial product. And it just bugs me. But that being said, yeah, definitely wokeness did kill Han Solo.
Man, I wonder what he's thinking about how Indy went out in that last movie. I mean, maybe he's fine with it. Who knows? I'd like to hear the story behind that. Anyways, Nate, thoughts on this?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I mean, I think undoubtedly he's probably joking, but from a perspective of just joking about everything in general, because if you Adam Driver's background, I mean, he was a Marine, and so he's not someone who's shy of hard work, graft, patriotism, those sorts of things. And generally speaking, your sort of belief system would align with your political elements, which will be slightly center to right, I would imagine. No. So if he's taking the piss out of it, if he's joking about it, I would imagine it's more from a perspective of, satirical over everything. And also where he is, that was on SNL, wasn't it? I mean, that's just drivel anyway. It's like bottom of the barrel comedy. So I can imagine that it's just from a satirical stance, because I think better of Adam Driver than to think that he's bought into all of the left-wing ideological nonsense.
Right.
But I might be wrong.
I agree with you completely. Sorry to talk again, but I agree with you completely, because I think...
No, you can't talk. No.
Back in your corner, Mike. Back in
Silencio.
You've had your time.
All right, beta ass bitch is back.
There you go.
All right, guys. Let's go ahead before we hit our next topic. Hit some of these super chats real quick. I meant to clear some of these out before we hit this first topic. Graph Webb himself, most consistent man on YouTube for $2. Hashtag cancel Disney Plus. And we now have a Graph Webb hashtag cancel Disney Plus t-shirt on the merch store. So go check that out. He actually did go and buy one. You'll have to GraphWeb, if you're on Twitter, or if you're not, you'll have to email us a picture of you in that shirt. That'd be hilarious. Mexican Iron Man, what are you doing? Super chatting for $5. Today's new show title: 3 YouTubers and a Mexican.
Well, 4 now. 4
4
YouTubers.
now,
and a
yeah.
Mexican.
4 YouTubers and a Mexican now.
Mike, do I have to pull out receipts? Mike, do I have to pull out?
Oh my God,
receipts?
we have so many other super chats to read.
Yeah.
Davish, member for 5 months. Hell, Davish. Hail all, just got a new job. We are, you are.
Woohoo!
Absolutely, Davish.
Awesome.
Good
Heck
job
yeah.
on the new job.
Congrats.
Congratulations, buddy. Glad to hear it. Let's see here. Israel R for $5. Greetings and happy Friday. Dropping some coin for channel support. Hail Israel R for $5.
Indeed.
And then Mexican Iron Man, 5 gifted Echo Base Network memberships. Hail to you, kind sir. Thank you so much for that, Mike. For everybody that submitted super chat, the super chat video is for you. And to all the new members who got gifted memberships from Mike, this new member video is for you guys.
Welcome to the party, pal.
And that would
Are you trying to threaten the new members?
that would be Adam, Darth Maul's lower half, Don Ranger Power, Small Time Republic, Ultra Magnus, and you get a complimentary member chat when you feel that the time is right. So welcome.
Yep.
on.
Yep, absolutely. So welcome to the EBN member family, guys. All right, next we're gonna go to Stone Loki in his topic for today. Loki.
When I saw this, I couldn't believe it. According to a 2023 study by the Video Game History Foundation, 87% of video games released before 2010, the onset of digital distribution, have been lost or at risk of being lost due to lack of video game preservation due to the difficulties involved. This has been going on for years as Electronic Arts gobbled up companies like Westwood Studios, Night Dive Studios. They lost the original code. They lost soundtracks. They lost bass drives. They lost everything that went into making these video games. And
this is the studios that have lost all the work that they put into for the game.
yes, or
okay,
the
gotcha.
studio that bought the studio that put all the work into it. So it all depends on how you're looking at it. I know Mike would be one of the first people that'd be like, well, Loki, why not just buy the remake? Or why not just buy the HD remaster? Or why not? Because they change things. They always change things. It's always something. I'll take Squaresoft, for example. When the new Final Fantasy Pixel remasters came out, those aren't the original games. Those have been games that from the ground up have been remade and changed to play on current day systems. Not just dialogue changes, text changes, font changes, mechanics to the games. These things have been changed and they aren't the way they were when we originally played them. One of the ways that a lot of people deal with this so they can go back and play games that can't be sold anymore, that they've lost copyright rights to, is emulation. And that's a very touchy subject because you have to have the original games to legally play them on a emulator. Emulators aren't illegal. As long as you download BIOS from your original consoles, as long as you copy your original games, everything's fine. The problem is is that more and more we are losing the ability to play these games. Captain Spire just threw a $5 super chat in and says, no one's taken my DOS games. Most of those DOS games are unplayable on current day systems. You cannot play them. There's games from the 2010s. The original Dead Space on PC, you cannot play that if you have more than 8 cores on your computer. You have to use a community-built patch because EA will not patch these games. They will not allow you to play them on current day systems, Dead Space 1 or Dead Space 2, the original versions on PC. You just can't play them.
While you're talking, I'm going to go grab something. I got something I want to show.
So the more and more as time moves on, as our technology improves, we're losing the ability to go in and play these older games. Systems are dying. They're not going to come back out with a PS3. And that's one of the hardest systems to emulate. And one of the systems that once they are gone, they are gone. The batteries in them.
Sorry, you're going to talk about it anyways. Go ahead.
The battery in the PS3s. Was that what you were going to bring up?
Yeah. I was here. I hadn't heard about this battery issue until today because of Culture Casino. But please tell me more.
So there's a code in your battery that talks to your PS3. That code is hardwired into your hard drive. It's hardwired into your CPU, and it's hardwired into the board. If that battery dies, that's it. There is no replacing it. Sure, you can replace the battery itself, but the code that's stored in that battery that tells your PS3 everything's cool, this is supposed to work the way it is gone. So your PS3 just goes, yeah, I'm not going to work even with the new battery in there because there's no code relaying information to your CPU and to your hard drive that says, okay, everything's cool, everything's all right, this hasn't been tampered with. Sony will not replace these. They will not fix it. So once those PS3s are gone, they're gone. And the PS3 is one of the hardest systems today to emulate because of the safety features that were put into it and because of the weird architecture involved in its creation, which is why a lot of devs didn't like to work on it. Once it's gone, it's gone. And this stuff has to be preserved.
It's partly because of all these HD remakes that they aren't doing it anymore. And the only reason that we get all these HD remakes is because of the emulating community going through and reminding all of these big game developers that there's value here. Nintendo seems to know that they can release everything over and over and over again. I'm not a huge fan of the way Nintendo does that. I would rather they just sell the game again. Rather than having me log into Nintendo Online or whatever it is in order to play Super Mario Brothers. But I will be playing Dr. Mario until the day I die, the original NES version. I don't care what anyone says, if that makes me lame or what, but
I suck at that game.
Oh, man.
I'm so bad.
I get the weirdest insults when I play that game. They're like backhanded ones. They're like, you're like some kind of savant here, Jonus. Like, what do you mean?
I'm so bad. So what I was going to try to get is I actually have my original copies of X-Wing and TIE Fighter with the floppy disks and a game that I played on Commodore 64 with the giant floppy disks, and I can't play any of those games anymore. But there's one game that did come out, correct me if I'm wrong, Loki, but the Diablo 2 remaster, it was actually built on top of the original game, right?
Yes. So
I can't think of any game other than that one where they've done that. I'm sure there have been, but I don't know them.
There are a couple. So because they don't have the source code or the original game, and this is Blizzard we're talking about. Blizzard doesn't have its own source code from its most popular game because they don't have that. They had to build the remaster on top of the original. What do you mean by that, Loki? What I mean is that in the background, as you're playing the new game, the original game's playing as well. And while you're getting updated graphics and updated visuals and sounds, all of everything that happened in the original is playing in the background while you're playing the new game.
Didn't they try? I don't know if they ever followed through on it, but I think Halo, there were some versions of Halo where you could switch on the fly between the old graphics and the new graphics.
That was originally in the Halo anniversary, Halo 1 anniversary, and then the new Master Chief collection that's been out for a while. You can do that as well. Yes.
I have in my office, I have a huge Sony Trinitron TV, and I've got every Nintendo system that I could get my hands on, one version of each system. I don't have a Virtual Boy. The thing isn't worth it, but I have a GameCube with a Game Boy player, and with that, I can go back as far as I can on Game Boy when you had to make the game good, or no one would buy it, because all you had is a Game Boy was out of date at the moment that it came out. So you have all these amazing games that rely on actual good game design. And now, if I weren't a collector, if I weren't just trying to find these things in order to try to preserve them for myself and to play these games with my kids, I'm thinking like $60 a pop. Even if I want to buy a used system now, which I'm glad I already have them. An original Nintendo, I've seen them going for $100 at retail. That's what some of them cost when they came out. The idea that before 2010 we're just losing all this stuff, and I would have to imagine a lot of this is like DOS-based games and things that maybe you haven't even heard of. But there are games that I played that I loved that were amazing. Like there's a DOS-based game called Solar Winds that I've been trying to look up. The original website is still up, and I think you can still download the game, but it doesn't work on a current anything that is out right now, because then I have to create an environment in order for it to function. And like you said, it doesn't function on a Mac. It doesn't function on a Windows machine. So I think this is a tragedy. Obviously, we've lost all these old reels of films. That's why we don't have the original Star Wars without like a huge asterisk, like these fan edits and these the Spanish film restoration that ended up being turned into 4K 77. This is less than 100 years of history. This is less than 50 years of history here, and we've already lost it. So it stinks. Thank you, Loki, for making me angry.
You're welcome, Jonus. You're very welcome.
I just want to note that me and Nate haven't said anything in 10 minutes. We don't care.
Yeah, I was getting ready to say, if you guys got any thoughts, Mike?
Me and Nate don't care. Nate, do you have any old console gaming systems? I don't.
Well, so I mean, like, I haven't owned a console since the black Xbox. What was it, Xbox Elite that came out? Yeah. God knows how long ago now.
I mean, look at those biceps. Of course you don't have a game console.
but it did this stupid red ring of... I used to really like games consoles, and did this stupid red ring of death, and I just chucked it in the bin, and I never bought one since.
It's all, those are all, that all happened because of the Jaguar core that was in the Xbox. It was not built well enough to survive what the Xbox was putting it through, and they didn't use the correct thermal paste in the original Xboxes. So they killed over and died. You could have it less than a year and it would have died.
Yeah,
that's all Microsoft's fault.
6 months. I was so pissed off, and that's why I was just chucked it in the bin, and I never bought another one since. But like, I've got a good PC, so I just, if I want to play games, I've got Steam. But it is a shame that, you can, it sounds like a dumb analogy, but it's true. I mean, you can see the stuff in, my office here. I'm a car guy, and there's an analogy, and it works, but it sounds dumb. Cars, games are the same. There's often cars that came out at the time that were a dime a dozen. People didn't care about them, and now they're all gone. And then there's only like a handful left, and people are like, holy shit, these are really rare. These are like really worth something. And it'll be the same with this. Because people don't think that this is part of history that you should or would want to preserve. So no one's really cared that much. Hence, like, it's all gone. Obviously, this stuff is slightly different, but there's also the physical copies that people have as well. That's all gone. It's the same kind of principle, and it's a shame, really, because it's part of history, isn't it? So that give it like, I don't know, 20 years time, there'll be people with, I guess there is now, but like video game collections that is like a all the rage type deal, I'm sure.
My dad had an old Datsun convertible Roadster,
Oh,
sold that.
Well, what was it? 1,600, 2,000? Which one?
I don't know. I don't remember. I was only like I think 7 or 8
hood,
when he sold it.
Long hood, round headlights.
Long hood, round headlights. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I wish he had. I would have loved to have that car when I got
well expensive now.
And he only sold it for $100.
I would die to have my
$100.
280 ZX that I had that literally sat around forever. I would love to have that car back and sport around here on Hilton Head Island.
They go for over 50, like $50,000 to $70,000 now.
What?
Dude.
Are you
Good
serious?
Lord. Seriously?
What?
Yeah, go look on eBay, mate.
Wow.
There's one selling in the UK right now for 50 grand pounds.
He sold that car for $100.
Ready to day.
In 1986, after we got to Texas, he sold that car for $100.
Mate, they're because again, it's that analogy of cars, video games, especially the Japanese stuff. People didn't think that they're worth anything because, you know, especially in the UK as well as the States, you know, American muscle. In the UK, it was, you know, we liked all the European cars, and now the Jap cars, the JDM stuff is worth so much cash, so much money because there's just not much around.
Nope.
Have I just
really
destroyed your life there, Mike?
It was a great car. It got me super late in junior high and high school because I started driving early. Auntie let me drive it, and then she gave it to me when I turned 14 and a half.
This if Mike ever gets a dividend from Disney, he's going to be buying a 280Z now.
Yep. Here's I don't know if you guys will be able to see that's my first Nissan hard body.
So I've got the daddy
truck.
to that car.
Oh, do you?
I have the Datsun 720 King Cab, which is the car which, depending on the year, what year was that?
92.
Okay, so I've got the 1981 Datsun 720, which was then repurposed into the Nissan hardbody.
Yep. I got, my dad bought that truck, paid cash for it, and then I wrecked it 3 days later.
Wow.
Oh, man. We did.
And it was another $3,000 to get it fixed.
Of course you did.
Damn. They're cool cars, man. Was it all-wheel drive?
4-wheel drive, and it had like a 3-inch lift on it.
Man, they're cool.
Had
you can still get them today.
Yeah, had some Thornbird Super Swamper mud tires on them. God, trying to fix this stupid autofocus.
First car I ever had was a 1985 K5 Blazer, and it was a state trooper. It was a state trooper. They sold it at auction, but the floorboards were rotted out completely. It looked horrible. It was like driving the Rust-Oleum when I first got it, but it had a 350 small block supercharged with a Pursuit package in it, and I was like, I can fix the outside of this.
All right, guys, let's go ahead and move on. Mike, you're doing one with Jonus, right?
Well, I'm doing one if Jonus wants to chime in or not. Do you want me to go next or?
No, we'll go ahead and let Jonus do his, and then if you want to, you don't have anything to share. It's just something you're going to talk about. You don't got to.
No, I have it ready to share, but if I click on the button and bring it in, it's going to override whatever was happening because I'm.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah, because he's
All right,
got
Jonus.
moderator privileges. Yeah, so I wanted to talk about this one. This relates to Star Trek. I'm just going to go ahead and spoil it for the audience here. Sherry Redstone, who doesn't own most of Paramount, she owns 10% of Paramount, but she owns 80% of the control of Paramount because of the way that the Paramount stock works. She's thinking about selling her shares of Paramount and therefore control of Paramount. Media Mogul controls Paramount Global through is considering whether to sell the company. Yes, sir. What, did my audio go out?
Yeah, we lost you for just a second.
I'm back.
Yep. We can hear you good now.
In recent weeks, Redstone has met with the Skydance Media Chief Executive David Ellison and Activision CEO. Oh, there's Activision again. Bobby Kotick. I hope that Bobby Kotick does not get it. Although if Bobby Kotick, if he gets involved in movie making, we might get something with a little testosterone in it. That would be the only positive I see there.
Yeah.
But Skydance, I've been watching Skydance a lot and trying to keep. If they, first of all, they've got tons of money at their disposal, and they're doing a great job.
They had $1 billion, so a double on their credit line from JP Morgan or whatever it was.
Yes,
didn't they? So they originally had 500 million credit line. Now they've got $1 billion credit line.
Yeah, and they're using it to make movies like Transformers and Top Gun Maverick, and they've got this great deal with Tom Cruise going right now. They've got John Lasseter over there at Skydance, who was responsible for all that resurgence of Disney from 2007 onward, obviously Pixar. So I'm keeping an eye on Skydance. I'm not ready to say that they're anti-woke, but they're at least smart enough that they're willing to make some movies that, again, have a little testosterone to them. Now, testosterone is not necessarily the word that you would use when describing Star Trek, but Star Trek is at least, well, it used to be when it was James T. Kirk. All of this takeover buzz, they're talking about that Star Trek might be taken out of the hands of Alex Kurtzman, which would be an amazing thing. I love Picard season 3. Maybe it was just that I was a thirsty man in the desert. I keep hearing from other people, well, technically it stinks. I'm like, well, technically I enjoyed every minute of it when I watched it. So.
Jonas, let me help you with that. It's not technically that it stinks or that it sucks. The correct answer would be the whole thing totally fucking sucked. Continue on.
The camaraderie with the cast coming back was nice. Them interacting with each other, in my opinion, was the
what would have been nice?
Saving grace of the series.
How about someone turned on some fucking lights before they turned the camera on and started filming so I could see some shit in that damn ass show?
I agree.
That? How about someone go to Office Depot or Home Depot or Lowe's and buy some damn light bulbs and turn the lights on?
Hey, I wasn't saying it didn't have problems.
Go get some solar panels and use green energy and get some damn lights on before you start filming stuff in 4K. I don't know. Call me old-fashioned, but I want to see shit.
Yeah. I agree with what Mike said there. I had issues with the show 100%. There was stuff that I did not like about it at all. But overall, I liked a lot of what was in it compared to the first 2 seasons.
I watched season 1 and then I was out after that. I was like, this is fucking garbage.
Yeah. I made a mistake of not only watching season 1, but I did an Everything Woke series where I went through every
Jonas,
depressing.
Like I was out. Your audio
by the time I was done with that series.
Jonas, you keep popping in and out.
The second season.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on there.
The second season of that show almost killed me. And we're gonna eat batteries. We're the Borg, and we're gonna go to the battery buffet at the car lot, and we're gonna eat the batteries. We're an autistic Borg.
I heard Tom and Audrey earlier on Midnight saying that what if they sell off Paramount and Kurtzman buys it?
Oh, no. You be quiet. Don't even put that evil out into the world.
That's what they said. They were just on Midnight. I was driving in traffic, driving back for this show, coming back from my client to get here for this, and that's what I heard them say.
Oh, God.
Kirsten doesn't have the cash for that. He doesn't have the credit line.
That's what I would be my reaction, but that's,
Also, does he have that much attachment to Star Trek at this point? I haven't gotten the idea that he actually cares about what he's doing.
Kurtzman's a simp.
That's all he's allowed to do at the moment.
Right, Kurtzman's gonna simp where he can simp. He's like guys that like have a favorite OnlyFans account. And they can't do anything else with their lives.
Lonely fans, you mean?
Lonely fans, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Lonely fans. I love that.
Have you not heard that before?
No, I have not.
No, I've never heard that either. That's brilliant.
Brilliant.
Well, isn't it? That's all they are, fucking lonely fans.
So there's some possibility here that they're going to actually split up the assets here so that they can sell them off. And right here it says, in the case of a sale and divestiture of assets, what remains of Paramount could emerge stronger. As noted by Wells Fargo, post very significant asset sales, Paramount New Company could be an attractive growth company. the new Paramount would own the Star Trek library and rights and would be producing and licensing Star Trek content. Skydance has been working with Paramount Pictures on recent Star Trek movies. So this gives me hope, which is a dangerous thing these days, like this, what Mike is about to talk about here, because I obviously know what story he's got coming up. These are a lot of things that are giving me hope, which is a dangerous thing to have these days as far as woke media goes. But I see some good stuff coming down the bend. Fingers crossed.
It definitely can't get any worse than the current state of Star Trek. Whatever happens, I mean, it is in the shitter. Pretty much like Star Wars and Doctor Who are right now as well. And good God, man, the Doctor Who fans, they are freaking going off on this new Doctor Who stuff. But yeah, Star Trek's been in a sad state for a long time. I'd love to see it get turned around. I loved the old series back in the day. I love Star Trek. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. What do you think's actually going to become of this, Jonus? Like, what do you see actually happening? Like, if you were to make a prediction,
if they detach, well, I don't know. I think that Paramount right now is kind of a lot of their investors are saying, "Can you get out of the streaming game? This is ridiculous. You're not making any money. We don't have enough space in the market for another streaming service of this size and this much capital expenditure." So they're going to bundle with Apple. This actually to me looks like the kind of deal where Apple could come in and buy them, and it wouldn't be that big of a deal. There's
it'd
always
be cheaper than buying Disney.
Shoo, and far fewer problems, because most of Paramount's problems right now are cash based as opposed to whatever is going on at Disney right now. It's wokeness, but
doesn't Paramount have a deal already with Amazon Prime? I swear they do. In other parts of the world.
Yes, well, they do have they offer their channel through Amazon Prime, but I don't think it's not bundled here in the United States. It might be bundled over there, but that can all work out. What's a few $1 million between $1 trillion companies like Amazon and Apple?
Yeah.
They have all the 280Zs they want.
Yeah. Nate, thoughts on any of this?
I mean, look, Skydance have been making moves. I mean, they're not exactly non-woke or anti-woke or any of that nonsense. But they're certainly not. If you're looking at the marketplace of absolute degenerate studios, they're not massively one of them. They're a bit like Lionsgate and a bit like Legendary. These companies are. They're not sipping on that sweet ESG money quite yet. So would it be the worst thing if Skydance got it? No. Ellison, for all of his shortcomings here and there, he does try hard, and he's consistently trying. And although he's had some massive failures, I mean, he did Terminator Genisys and Terminator Dark Fate, garbage movies, but I would argue he appears to be learning from it now, which is good. Like you're looking at the last few years of movies that he's been putting out past those pretty monumental failures. Those movies were hundreds of millions of dollars down, in the can. And he's been putting movies out that he seems to have learned from. So would he be the worst person to get involved with Paramount or whatever it is? No, not really. Could that be beneficial for the marketplace overall? Yes. We need something to shake up the studio marketplace. Hollywood in general needs a shake up to remove their sort of degenerate behavior seeping into films so we can actually enjoy some entertainment.
And I would actually be down for a Paramount Plus, Apple Plus bundle, because Paramount Plus actually has a lot of good shows on it. All the Tyler Sheridan stuff is on there. I like all his shows. There's another show called SEAL Team that I like. That's also. I
heard you about Halo as well.
Oh God!
Don't get me started on. Don't get me started
Nate,
on
you're
Hot
gonna
Pocket
get me and
Halo
Loki.
And oh no,
Nate, you're gonna get me and Loki. Me and Loki gonna be in the emergency room if you start talking Halo.
They're in the pot.
Oh man, people hate that show. Oh God,
it's so bad. It's so bad. I started to do and everything woke on that, and I just got far enough into it, and I realized nobody's gonna watch this garbage.
As soon as I
I
heard
reviewed
about
it.
it, I didn't even watch it. I was like, all right.
I
I'm
reviewed
not
it
even
week
watching
by week, and it was the most fun for quite some
Oh,
time. I
you
had.
watched every episode, Nate?
I did.
Oh, man.
Master cheeks, because he got his arse out. Like, what are you doing,
That's
mate?
right. So you
Got
renamed
away.
everybody
Nate-
too.
Nate,
We
what-
renamed everybody, everyone on that show, from Doctor, which was Halsey, to Strawberry Spartan, to Autumn Sunrise, which was Dr. Halsey's daughter. Everybody, Hot Pocket, which was the chick that was with the Covenant, because she was in that like seaweed wrap, Hot Pocket, whatever it was. We just had to go through and rename everybody to keep our sanity when we watched it, because it was
Such
just
a
that
garbage
bad.
show.
Oh, God. Mike, thoughts?
I'm with I'm with you, man. I'd like to see Paramount and Apple team up. I watched, I watched of all the streaming services, the least amount of stuff I ever watched on anything was Disney Plus until I canceled it. And truth of the matter is that looking back on it all, most of the time when I watched something, it was because I had to for one channel or another that I was asked to comment on it. So,
Loki, any thoughts before we move on to Mike's topic?
It's dead, Jim. Give it, you know what? Let it rest. I never thought I would say this. I always wanted more Star Trek. They have cucked Spock so bad, where he's like, all the women on the bridge are chastising me and telling me what a horrible person I am, and I'm eating bacon in Captain Pike's ready room, and it's crap. All of this is crap. Everything that's been done under Secret Hideout, under Kurtzman, it's all crap. Let it go.
Do you see it getting better if it moved under a new regime, though?
It's got to get away from Kurtzman. You got to get him out and get someone in that cared about it. Why did that second Star Trek movie work so well? Why did Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan, work so well? Because they had a guy come in that watched every single episode of the original series and said, this is what we're going to do, and it's going to rock. And it worked. It worked. Now they're going, don't watch the original series. Don't watch Next Gen. Don't watch the original shows, because that's not important. All you need to do is do what we tell you. Yes. All we need, we're going to remake it in our image, and we're going to do this, and none of what happened in the past matters. They call the original series sexist and ist and obed and yahtzeed, and don't watch Next Gen. You don't need to know anything that happened. Yeah, you do. Because if you want to make good Trek, you have to be a sci-fi fan and a Star Trek fan to make good Trek.
Yeah.
You're totally right. I've watched the entirety of old Trek, the original series, and also the animated series recently. There are a couple of episodes that are absolute garbage, and The Children Shall Lead. Like, if that burned and died and never came to see the light of day again, that'd be fine. But at the same time, we've got this elevated stuff in here. Like Amok Time is just epic television, Kirk and Spock fighting, but at the same time you've got all these great sci-fi themes, and you got these themes about friendship and masculinity, and you have this basic stuff, and then you have these great science fiction writers of the age. They were sci-fi novelists, not a bunch of people who happened to watch a bunch of Buffy the Vampire Slayer and thought they could do it better. Old Trek, for its flaws, and I'm saying that in quotes, is better than almost anything in recent memory in Star Trek. I think maybe 2006 we haven't had anything that actually means anything when they say it's Star Trek.
Some of the best early Next Generation episodes were written by fans of the original series. They opened the doors at Paramount. They said, send us your script. And one of those was from Melinda Snodgrass, who was a teacher, and sent in the script for Measure of a Man, where they're threatening to take Data apart and download his memories, where he won't be Data. If they try and rebuild him, he's never going to be like he was. And Picard and Riker have to basically fight it out in court to be like, is he a sentient being? Is he alive? Can he make this decision for himself to not go through with this procedure? that was sent in by a lifelong fan of Star Trek. These are the people you need to be listening to instead of calling them is, obes, and Yahtzees because they don't like what you're doing and they don't like what direction the show is going.
Yeah, I agree. I agree, Loki. I agree. All right, guys, let me hit these couple super chats real quick. Captain Spire with the $10 super chat. Every cast member of Next Gen is so ideologically and socially opposed to Star Trek fans. It made season 3 feel like a gasping breath to fool fans back. Screw all this new Trek in space sonar. Hail, Captain Spire. Thank you for that super chat, brother. Olaf Van Esk, the moderator, all moderators. Nick saying Star Trek continues by Vic Mignogna. I can't ever pronounce his last name. But yes, I have. And on YouTube, if you guys haven't seen it, check it out. It is awesome. They did such a good job on Star Trek Continues. Absolutely love it. And then Mr. Buttcrack Media himself has gifted 1 Echo Base Network membership. Hail, Mr. Buttcrack Media. To all of you who sent in super chats, the super chat videos for you. And they give us Pee Wee Herman bucks.
My bike!
What a comical scene. And what a
I almost forgotten about the bastard.
And to our new member, this video is for you. Welcome to the EBN member family. Mike, do you know who got that free that gifted membership by chance? I can't.
I
see
do.
it.
It's Hephaestus.
All right, Hail. This video is for you. Yeah. All right, Mike. What do you got for us today?
Well,
more stuff from Tryan.
No, well, it is the Tryan announcement. I just haven't talked about it here on this channel.
Oh, okay.
But I mean, I'm sure you've heard of it. But yeah, 2 new board members. Nelson Peltz has nominated himself and someone else to the Disney board. I know that you guys probably talked about this yesterday. I'm sorry I couldn't join you guys for your show. I was off site yesterday.
We missed you.
But this is, I guess, the 3 things I want to highlight have to do with number 1 is that the 2 guys, the Tryan group that's trying to get control of Disney, or at least get 2 board members on Disney's board to right the ship, control $3 billion worth of stock, and the 10 yo-yos that are currently at the Walt Disney Company on the board don't have a composite $15 million worth of shares. So that's point number 1. Point number 2 is that the gentleman that they're bringing back is a former CFO of Disney, Jay Rassolo, and he was at Disney for 3 decades and is the most recent CFO prior to Christine McCarthy. And of those who have heard me speak on YouTube for the last couple of years, I was no fan of that chick at all. The fact that Nelson Peltz has been able to align himself with Jay Rassolo as a candidate for the board of directors essentially quells and eliminates any and all possible debate that might be had about whether or not Nelson Peltz and his designees are qualified to be on this Disney board. One of the chief pushbacks that Bob Iger has said over and over again is that Nelson Peltz doesn't know anything about the entertainment business and does not have the background in order to provide governance and leadership on the board of directors. When, in reality, Nelson Peltz has been on a variety of boards over the last 3 decades in various industries, and overwhelmingly, the companies on which he has been a director of have experienced market gains, increased profitability, and enjoyed increased market share in the various market segments in which they did business. So that is that is important to know. Now, Jay Rasulo is particularly important in this mix because he knows how Disney runs as a company. He knows how it runs operationally. He knows how it runs financially. He knows he has a great deal of experience because, ladies and gentlemen, Jay was at that company before Bob Iger came to that company as an executive. Jay Rasulo actually predates Bob Iger as a Disney executive. Now, he ultimately got a bit screwed over because Tom Skaggs ended up leapfrogging over Jay Rasulo, and ultimately Jay was escorted out the door in 2015. But between Nelson Peltz, who has a variety of board experience, and Jay Rasulo, who has a lot of Disney experience, this pretty much quells any and all debate about whether or not they have the right people to be on this board. In fact, Jay says, quote, "The Disney I know and love has lost its way. As independent voices in the boardroom, Nelson and I are confident that the combination of my decades of experience at Disney, Nelson's significant board skills, and history of driving positive strategic change, our combined consumer brands expertise and financial acumen will be additive to the Disney board." So I find it interesting that he makes this statement right here, where he says, Trian expects that the 2024 annual meeting will take place in the spring of 2024. And he says, shareholders do not need to take action at this time. Hint, hint. Guys like me.
That's the one in March, right?
Yep. Hint, hint. Guys like me will be ready to take action soon. So this is my big news of the week. The battle has heated up. I'm excited for it. The odds of him winning are going to be daunting, but I'm all here for it. And for those that have criticized everybody's channel on this platform, on this panel right now, because all you guys have been criticized by people in your various channels that said that you all were wrong about there being conflict and debate, Disney and a war, civil war, whatever you want to call it or describe it. But all of you have covered in all of your videos a variety of issues related to the content that Disney's put out. This right here is an opportunity to potentially correct the ship, and I'm all excited for it.
And I know why you're really excited, Mike.
Why?
Because Jay Rasulo loves them dividends, mate.
Yeah, baby. Yes. The block of stock that I inherited had the best dividend runs leading up to the 2000s. Absolutely. Yes.
I mean, it is a joke, but in that segment, I mean, the amount of sort of, he basically presided over Disney when it was at its peak. So yeah, I can see why you're excited, to be honest.
Yeah. Yep. And everybody, welcome Tom Connors to the stream.
Hey,
I saw him in chat. Yes, Tom, you did get invited to this, but we were only doing one guest each week. But since you were in there, I was like, fuck it, I'll go ahead and throw Tom away.
I can leave.
So,
I mean,
no, stay.
Well, who's the guest here? I mean, you got like 17 people here that aren't Echo Base Network. I'm trying to figure that one out.
So me, Mike, Jonus, and Stone Loki are the weekly 4 panelists, and then we rotate a.
You don't even show up, Mike. Don't even show up for Midnight's Edge After Dark.
You didn't show up for the HCast yesterday either.
Well, we only do it for 1 hour on a Friday afternoon.
Speaking of which, we got 3 minutes on that.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Nate, any other thoughts or any other comments or questions you had for Mike on this?
Well, no, Mike being, someone who's got money invested in it. Like when I read this, it hits all the relevant elements it would need to for shareholders, for people that have, vested financial interest in it. And I do wonder, how you think about this in respect. Do you think other people will be like, yes, my God, please get involved? Was there anything that sort of piqued your interest massively or won you over outside of what you'd already thought? Was there anything in here which was new to you, which got you really interested? Or was it all just pretty much the norm? Your own thoughts?
I would say
confirmation bias.
Yeah, I think you nailed the head. That's a great question. There are two things that I didn't know about. One is that what I mentioned earlier, I didn't realize that all of the board members right now only have $15 million worth of stock, excluding Iger. That's all
No,
the
he's basically sold all of his,
yeah,
apparently.
yeah,
It's crazy.
yeah. So that's nuts. I did not realize until I read this that I didn't realize that they were all 10 million. It used to be a lot more back, in past decades. It wasn't like this at all.
But it makes sense that board members would have a financial vested interest in the company that they're helping to run, doesn't it? The fact that they don't have such a financial vested interest in it, I think that speaks volumes, quite frankly. They got nothing to lose. They don't care.
It's really shocking.
I mean, if we want to put a number on this, 15 million versus 3 billion, if you took all the non-management board members and you multiplied them by 200, they would start to reach the amount of shares that Nelson Peltz is swaying right now. Not counting the people who are just interested here. I'm sure that Rasulo has shares of his own. It boggles my mind that they have such a paltry number of shares between them, other than Iger, and pointing out that $1 billion figure for Iger, I don't know. I'm sure there's some substantiation to that. I have no idea how in the world he gets to $1 billion in value. There, I'm going to be looking into it.
Sold it all. He said he doesn't
Right,
have it anymore.
Right. Still, but I mean, he's got a long career. But the question is, okay, well, how much? Where is he pinning that valuation to, and all that stuff? But this defeats so many arguments here. First of all, Ike Perlmutter is actually a successful media executive, and he's saying that he wants Peltz on the board. And then Jay Rasulo knows everything about how this company runs. If Bob Iger dropped dead today and Jay Rasulo took over, that would not be that bad for the company. I'm not wishing anybody death here. I don't understand why a company that is supposed to be trying to solve a succession crisis would be so opposed to people that used to be at this company coming in and actually taking a part in the future of the company. No one on that board has Disney history other than Bob Iger. The current CFO is from Pepsi, so he doesn't have a history with the Walt Disney Company. Josh D'Amaro has done a horrible job with the parks, which is the cash cow, or should be the cash cow of the entire company. So this guy right here solves so many issues. And even if he wasn't attached to Nelson Peltz, this would be a great sign for the company to bring in someone like this to be on the board, because it would say that, guess what? We do have to replace Bob Iger at some point, guys. We do have to do that.
I mean, the other second thing I was going to say that surprised me a bit was the fact that they went after Iger in this announcement, which, by the way, all shareholders got. It says literally, furthermore, quote, it being Disney, has underperformed since Bob Iger was first appointed CEO in 2005, a period during which he has served as CEO or executive chairman, directing the company's creative endeavors in this role. That's a dig. That is a flat out dig when he says directing the company's creative endeavors. For all but 11 months. So for all but 11 months in 2005, and by the way, those 11 months were the Chapek months. He says Disney shareholders were once over 200 billion wealthier than they are now. And you know what? That made me think of myself, like Nate was asking me. That made me think of myself because I inherited, as I've said on other live streams, I inherited a block of shares from mom when she passed. And then I reinvested a ton of that back at 170, 174, 178. I got a bunch of shares in the high 170s.
Oh, so you bought close to the top then.
Yeah, I mean, you didn't need to say it that way, but okay, yeah. I mean, wow. Thanks for the footnote.
I did the same thing in the crypto market. I'm still down like 16 grand.
Yeah, all right, but yes, I bought near the top.
He's dollar cost averaging over here.
Yeah,
exactly
I want Ironman trying to teach the world how to dollar cost average yourself out of your gains. But
exactly.
When he said that, when I read that, I was like, holy shit, you're right. I do have half as much worth as I had. I'm like, son of a, so I'm looking forward to it. Now, what's going to be very daunting. I'm going to stop sharing my screen real quick and bring something up. What's going to be very daunting to me, I think, is is that we've got an up here fight because the largest stockholders in Disney control about, I think, 35. Tom, we did this last night, didn't we? Last night on Mead with Andre. Was Tom there?
Oh,
Yep.
he's chewing. He's chewing.
Hey,
Oh.
Tom actually looks like he's losing weight, by the way.
Yeah, he does.
It's a lighting.
It's a black shirt.
Send me that lighting.
Pizza.
And I shaved.
Let's see, who is it? I can't find it right now, but I think we calculated that it's about 34% of all the stock are held by these large woke institutional investment funds.
Sounds about right. Something like that.
Yeah.
You're talking about BlackRock and Vanguard, stuff like that.
Yeah, that kind of list.
Right.
Can I ask a question?
Go,
Do you
Loki.
think, Mike, that
Oh, I
there's
found it.
any chance that they can go from all we care about is messaging, all we care about is ideology, all we care about is this community we're representing, to we need to make money, we need to make people what they want to see, and that's what we need to get back to? Because at the end of the day, Disney's not going to change until they clean house and say, we need people in here that are going to make what our fans want and are going to entertain the people that actually spend money with us, instead of doing this ideological crusade to prop up a community that doesn't even buy its products.
A message.
Well, I think the first step is changing the. In order for the company to change, I've said this for a long time. What I'm about to say, I've said it over and over again, is that while many of us in the YouTube world, and I'll include myself in this, have been busy talking about KK and Feige and this, that, and the other, at the end of the day, a company like Disney is run by the executives and the board of directors. They're the ones that set the tones. They're the one that selects senior management, and the senior management controls the dollars, and the dollars decide where things flow. So until we can replace the board, and until we can replace literally Bob Iger and other senior executives, hopefully then we might be able to get to the rot. But this company's pretty rotten. I mean, as Chris Gore has reported, from what he's hearing from the front lines of the creatives who work in animation and Disney on the front lines, this is a company that is all but a termite infested house. And many argue that it can't be fixed, and that rather it really needs to be broken apart and torn down, and maybe just literally just broken up into pieces.
I think that would almost be better if it was broken up into pieces. So those financial institutions you had pulled up, they looks like they own a pretty good bit of shares of Disney.
Yeah, I added it all up. Tom was right. It's like 36%. Yeah.
Yep.
Well,
Tom,
that's a relief. The last I had heard that it was 75 to 85%. So that sounds more like 65, which actually gives me a lot of hope that maybe they can get some larger percentages pushing in the other direction.
Well, the only way that Trian's going to win this is they've got to go after all of the family offices that hold stock, and they got to go after all the retail investors that hold stock. Literally, if you think about this from another standpoint, is that in order to vote, they've got to get critical mass. They've got to get people to vote that don't normally vote, and they've got to get every share that they can, because right now they're 3 billion. They're like 5th, 6th on the current list right now.
Tom, thoughts, comments, questions on all this?
I mean, as far as the financial side of things, I can't really add too much to the mix, other than clearly if Peltz were to pull in another big hitter like George Lucas, or maybe if Elon Musk were to throw his hat in the ring, that could change things quite drastically. But I mean, on the business side of things, like I said, I can't speak on the numbers, but to me, these companies talking about breaking up the company. I mean, anymore these studios have become IP farms. They're nothing more than. I mean, it's really what they become, and it's like you got to a point where it's like you've bought up all the IPs now. So who are you going to license them to? Because that's why these IPs were originally worth money in the first place. It's kind of the same thing with streaming. It's like they've all kind of cornered themselves in this market where all they're doing is paying themselves to do stuff now.
Yeah,
on every level. And to me, I don't see how that works as business. You can't keep taking $20 from one pocket and put it in the other and say you just got $40 now. That's not how it works. So, I mean, from that level, I don't see them making any money in the future unless they do make some changes here. I mean, even take the woke crap out of this stuff. We've been getting to this conglomeration of a conglomeration of a conglomeration of a conglomeration for the last few years in Hollywood. And everything is being bought up. The music's the same way. You've got three companies now that own all the music. Right? And studios are getting to be the same way. So I'm not totally against the idea of breaking this company up too. They own too many IPs.
They're on about doing that
making
themselves,
money
though,
off
weren't they?
What was that, Nate?
I said they were on about doing that themselves, though, weren't they? Selling off certain assets, like elements of the company overall, like the sports divisions and stuff like this, weren't they?
Yeah, that was a lot of the rumor that Iger was trying to looking at selling what ABC, and a couple other things. We really haven't heard much more about that. Have you heard anything more on that, Jonus or Mike?
Yeah,
or Tom
well,
or Loki?
He got grilled on that by Andrew Ross Sorkin from New York Times and CNBC. He basically asked him, okay, well, all these things that you've said that you're selling. And he said, oh, no, I never said I was selling anything. The media just concluded from my comments talking about how anything is on the table that I was considering selling all of these things. I never said I was selling anything. What a
That is
bunch of
literally what that phrase
malarkey.
means.
He's sitting there. The CNBC interview where he said that he was up for selling ABC was at a conference with a whole bunch of media companies that would be looking to buy ABC or ESPN or Freeform or any of their cable networks. So he knew what he was doing. We all know someone who's like that, who walks into the room, says hello to you. Oh, you're so handsome, and then she's like, no, I wasn't flirting.
I hate Bob. He's such a douche.
He's a liar about everything. You can like fact check all of his appearances, and he's a lying sack of horse shit.
It's one of my favorite things to do on the channel is just take an interview with Bob Iger and go, oh, well, this is why that's a lie. Oh, this is why that's true, but he's using it to try to get something that's not true across.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, I think that is going to wrap it up. Did any of you guys have any other final thoughts or comments on anything talked about?
Star Wars is dead.
Here? What was that, Nate?
Star Wars is dead.
Yeah.
It's dead, Jim.
Yeah, it is dead.
I just got here.
Yeah, like I said, Tom, we only do it for 1 hour. It's a short, quick, simple, easy.
Oh, I thought I saw that music thing that you guys were just getting started. I didn't realize it was. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. The Friday afternoon shows are just a quick, just kind of weekly news roundup, just quick talk and discussion, short, sweet, and simple. But anyways, let me go around the panel. Mike, tell everybody where they can find you.
Here every Friday?
Outside of here every Friday.
Oh. I don't know.
Your YouTube channel. Tell everybody about your YouTube channel, Mike.
Tuesday mornings with Loki on his channel. Other than that, it's a roll. Other than that, it's a casino roll.
In mods, I got links to everybody's stuff. Which for Mike, I linked Midnight's Edge and Midnight's Edge After Dark. So post that, which is where you can find Tom Connors. Tom. I told everybody where they can find you. Got anything coming up going on?
I might go do some Mead Radio after a bit here. That's usually what I do in the afternoons on Fridays.
Radio. I love
That's
Mead
right.
Radio.
I need you to do me some Morgan Freeman.
Yes, sir.
The only place to
Absolutely.
find the music from the movies I'm in and more. Mead Radio. It's the only thing I listen to. Something like that. Just throw me some stuff. I don't care what it is. I'll use it.
Only channel I listen to on my submarines is Tom's. It doesn't react well to bullets.
All right, Loki, where can
as long as it can
everybody
handle
find
the
you at?
pressure.
Oh, I'm Stone
soon?
Loki. I'm over on Loki's Mornings of Mischief, Monday through Friday at 8 a.m. Central Standard Time. We also do a late show on Fridays starting at 10 p.m. Central Standard Time. So come by, say hi, hang out tonight. And we'd love to see you.
Absolutely. Jonus, tell everybody where they can find you at, but you have to do it in the voice of Morgan Freeman, the whole thing.
All right, let's practice that here. I think I can do that. I host a channel called That Park Place where we like to do daily breakdowns of all of the news items that should be fun, as well as doing discussion videos. I also have a live stream called TPP Live on Tuesdays at noon Eastern Time, and I realize we have an international audience, so I'm going to self-servingly say, go hit the notification bell here and on that channel in order to know when we go live.
Hail, Jonus J. Campbell.
Just keep on streaming.
Yeah. And to our great guest, first guest of the EBN cast, last but not least, Nate from Mr. H Reviews. Tell everybody where they can find you, what you got coming up, what you got going on.
Well, yeah, thank you for having me. I do appreciate it first and foremost. You can find me over on Mr. H Reviews on YouTube, at Mr. H Reviews on Twitter and Instagram, and essentially a lot of topical conversational videos, much like what we've just covered today, with a bit of a British slant and some humor thrown in. And then I run a podcast every Tuesday and Thursday, which is the H Cast, which you'll actually find a lot of people who are here on that. It was running for 2 hours. It seems to be just going on and on and on.
Yeah,
and on
we've been stretching that out a little bit.
Yeah, it's good. You know,
it is a great live stream. It really is. I know that I haven't been able to make it more than a couple of times, but I literally try to schedule around driving to or for life. I'm going to go see a client. It is a great live stream. It really is.
Every Tuesday and Thursday, guys.
You guys have great chemistry. It's really great.
Well, thank the people that turn up to it. Tom from Midnight Sage After Dark comes very regularly. Nick, you come very regularly. Of course, we've got Culture, and then dropping people like Jonas, you, Mike, Andre. So yeah, so that's basically that's where you can find me. That's what I do. So check it out. You might like it, and if you do, hit subscribe. No pressure. If not, but you might like it. So cool.
Yep. Definitely go sub, guys. Moderators are putting links to everybody's stuff in the chat, and you can find it all in the description of this video as well. But that is going to do it for us. Thank you all for being here. Thank you to all the mods. Thank you to everybody who sent super chats, and welcome to all the new members here on the channel. We will be live next Thursday night, Coach and I, for our normal weekly Thursday night stream, which got moved from Saturday to Thursday nights, which we didn't have last night because I had a Christmas party I had to go to that I forgot all about, and Coach had something going on too. But we'll be back next Thursday, and then last Sunday of every month we do a member stream on Sunday afternoons. So stay tuned for that. With that said, as we always say here, guys, you are Echo Base Network, and we'll see you on the next one.
Coach and Nick from Echo Base Network, thank you so much for being here with us tonight at Echo Base TV, where community happens.